Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness. This morning, what an ordeal to get here live. So, first and foremost, hi. I'm that witch Karina here at the Witch's Inn, and I am inviting you for the next 20 minutes to an hour to sit with me so we can chat about the Lionsgate portal and be in this place of wonderment and curiosity in order to just create a lot of abundance. So we have a really magnificent portal happening here from now until basically the full moon at the end of the month. And if you don't know, the full moon at the end of the month is a blue moon. So we had on the 1st, we had a full moon. And then on the 31st, we have a full moon. And so when this happens in a month, right? A seasonal lunar cycle, which is like spring, summer, fall. If we get 2 or 4 full moons, we get a blue moon. So that's pretty cool. And they act kind of like a supercharged new moon and full moon combined, because we have this ability in a blue moon to make a wish like you would over the new moon, right? So we're reflecting that out, and then we have this beautiful energy coming in. So today on August 8th, we have this ability again to be in this place of wonderment and curiosity with this portal. And we kind of have these next 3-ish weeks to really be like, okay, where do I want to go over the coming months? What do I want to do? I have 3 weeks to kind of take my time, evaluate my energy, evaluate everything that's kind of coming into being for myself, and then step forward in this energy. So it's really exciting. Yesterday, I put out a Lionsgate meditation. And if you would like that, you can find that under personalized meditations in the description. It's $8.88. So you can grab that today and just get all like tuned up and aligned with this beautiful portal that is happening right now. It's right now, guys. It's right now. You might notice things under the Lionsgate portal. It does go until about the 12th, the 13th, or the 14th. Sorry, I have a candle lit, and it's like kind of leaning forward. So I'm making sure that if it does drop, it drops on the plate that it's on. It doesn't drop into something where it's going to create fire, because of course that's a great representation of this Lionsgate portal. It really is igniting this energy around us. So, okay. Also, before I get into the reading, I am hosting an honoring and releasing sacred rage. Honey, listen. Rage is so important, especially to the femme body, okay? We have been kind of gaslit our entire lives for generations and generations. So if you are someone who's like, yeah, I'm a bit angry, or you're someone who kind of feels like they're triggered a lot, right? Like, why can't I just like be in this place of abundance and gratitude? But you can't process your grief, or you can't process this anger and frustration and rage that is coming forward, right? Like, I always say that like we as a socialized society have kind of adapted to this mantra of like keep sweet and that's not the feminine. That's not the experience, especially of the socialized feminine. Okay. We are dark waters that occasionally run calm. And so the more that you step into and honor all these really big emotions within you, the easier it is to transmute, to quantum leap, to manifest, because you're actually breaking through blockages. Think about all the things that you can do when you're angry. It's like, I clean my house like crazy. I go for these like really long walks. I like dance and just get like this really amazing workout. And without that, it's like it's a motivator. And I'm not saying you can't get motivated without it, but as I always say, like spite is a powerful, powerful, magnetic, and magical tool. And spite often comes along with rage and frustration. So when we can utilize that emotion, right? Not let it take over us, but take it over and use it to alchemize our experience, we can create huge rifts. And when we can do that in a community that holds us and keeps us safe and allows us to express this without anyone telling us that we're wrong or we're angry or, just kind of trying to make us like get back into that keep sweet, zip your lip, don't roar, don't create a fuss, find a different way to create the outcome that you want, it makes a huge difference. Trust me. So, again, you can find that down in the description box below under spellbinding workshops. And I hope that you will join me there. Again, it's $33. It's like a really, really nice like hour and a half together. And you get a recording so that you can watch it later and kind of go through it. And if you've done my Sacred Rage circle before, I welcome you back. There's lots of things that we get to rage about. So I welcome you to sit in circle with us and allow your rage to come to the surface and bubble forward. So to start us off, I am going to be using my Modern Witch Tarot deck. And let's just start off with kind of like, what can we expect? What can we expect over these next 3-ish weeks from this 8/8 portal to the full moon on the 31st, that blue moon? Okay, so we have the 6 of Swords popping out. What else can we expect? So we definitely have a journey. We definitely have a journey here. Taking back power. Here we go. Ooh, the Sun. I like this. Immediately, I'm just going to show you this right off the bat. So we have the 6 of Swords here, and then we move into the Sun. And like, this is such a nice little outcome here. Let me figure out my camera. Okay. So we go from this place of like kind of wandering in dark waters, right? Moving into clear waters. But then the further we travel, we get into this like really bright sun. It's for me, this is very like taking kind of like grounded alignment with our emotions. We have like a lot of water here, right? Even this is swords, right? So we're kind of allowing our emotions right now maybe to dictate our thoughts, and not in the best way, right? When I'm working with my one-on-one clients for coaching, I'll often say like, who is that voice in your head, right? Who is the one telling you that you can't do it, or when, should, could, like who is the one putting these expectations on you? How does that make you feel emotionally within your body? And if it's not your voice, then kick that out so that you actually can be in this place where you are like like, I like these two figures here, in kind of cahoots, I guess. with your emotional and logical side, right? So our emotions can inform us 100%, but they don't always speak the truth. A lot of times our emotions will be triggered based on past experiences that are being similar here, like similar in the situation that you're in right now, but it's not actually fact, right? So we tend to kind of like maybe gaslight ourselves a little bit and ostracize ourselves and keep ourselves away from being vulnerable. So within the Six of Swords, what I'm seeing is this like moving into the sun energy where it's like, okay, we can allow our emotions to inform us. Hey, I don't feel safe, or I'm having a lot of fun, or whatever that might look like, but come to it in a grounded way, right? Allowing that experience to really ground us so that we can experience the joy and of the array of emotions that we experience on a daily basis. So I'm going to pull one more. They want one more just for what we can expect, right? It's kind of like, think about it in a way that it's like, when you just know something, like you're like, yeah, I just know it. Like it just intuitively, I know I'm going to get this job. I know I'm going to like whatever. I know I'm going to go on this trip. I know I'm going to win this cottage. I know that so and so is going to call me today. You just know it intuitively and then it happens. This is that energy where it's just like you are using your emotions as a navigator to dictate where you logically want to go and be placed. What else can we expect? What else can we expect? Queen of Pentacles. I like this. So we kind of, again, like seeing this fuller picture now, what I'm seeing is like the Six of Swords. It's this place of walking through adulthood. Okay. I hope other people have had this experience because this is how this experience is showing up for me. When you're like 16 plus and you're not really quite, or like 16 to like 26, 27, you're not really like an adult, like you're a baby adult. I mean, technically, when you're 16, you're a teenager, but you're trying on your adult hat and kind of taking on things. So maybe you have more of like a part-time job over like a paper route or babysitting or something. Like you're working outside of the home, outside of other people's homes. Okay. Um, and this is like a plight of the maiden, right? So, but as you're kind of experiencing this, again, that intuition of like, I just know it, right? When you're like 16, maybe even younger, to about 26, 27, like you really have this kind of naivete about life in general, right? It's a very romanticized version of life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, we need this in order to kind of create and step into adulthood more. What makes or breaks this experience is if you have adults, like more adults, so 26-year-olds and up in your life who just allow that experience to kind of happen for you and give just like gentle feedback when you need it. So let's say you're getting insurance for the first time. A more adult will say, hey, do you need help with finding an insurance company, speaking to a broker, knowing what's good, right? Do you want me to sit with you? Do you want me to, whatever? Instead, I think a lot of people have this experience where, especially just within this kind of climate that we're in general over these last 25 years, where past generations kind of had to like muck about and find out, right? There was a lot of new things coming into being. Insurance wasn't necessarily like our grandparents didn't necessarily need insurance. It's been over the last kind of like 40 years that certain things, certain laws, seatbelt laws, like all these things have kind of come into play so that our world could be safer, right? So they really had to muck about and find out. A lot of them take that experience and say, well, I did it on my own. So you're going to have to learn the hard way. What if we didn't have to learn the hard way, right? This kind of like Six of Swords. This can really dampen our experience and keep us stuck in a state where we're always in this young adulthood, kind of questioning what should I do, where should I go, but also having this very romanticized version of what we want our life to be and how we want our life to kind of like how we want to interact with our lives. And if our romanticized version and then the actual reality of life aren't matching up, we can get like super depressed and just like, wow, nothing works out for me. I'm not a very good manifester, all these things, right? How many times did you like say to someone, especially in young love, like, I love this person, I'm going to marry them, right? Yeah, I'm sure some people do marry their high school sweethearts, but more often than not, we don't. And how often, if that was your case, did you hear like, oh, yeah, like, I hope that it works out for you? You're gaslit a little bit, right? Like in this naivete, in this romanticism. So if someone was there guiding you, going like, yeah, I want this to work out for you if this is how you want it to work out, right? Giving you like real solid, emotionally logical information, it would kind of create and sustain this like wonderment that is this inner child, so that as you go forward in your adult life, right, when you get to be 26 nearing 30 and you're like, oh wow, okay, I'm an adult now. Like, I am here, I'm doing the thing, I'm doing the jobs, I'm hopefully living on my own. I mean, millennials, that's not really the case. A lot of us are still living at home or had to move back in home, like at the 2020 experience. But it's being able to like see yourself and all your decisions, right? Not gaslighting that younger version of yourself anymore. Coming into like really good, compassionate, grounded energy with this Queen of Pentacles to say, like, if you didn't have that support system when you were younger, instead of going, oh, I made really poor financial decisions in my 20s, of course you did. Of course you did. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you didn't have a more adult teaching you how to be financially responsible and save and move. But also remember that like or my parents' generation didn't really have enormous amounts of student debt and enormous amounts of cost of living that didn't match our minimum wage, right? Like, we're kind of fighting against a system, and it started when we were very young. And like, again, I know that I'm speaking very millennially here, but hopefully this resonates with you in some way, shape, or form. So this Queen of Pentacles is saying, like, how can you onboard this kind of like mother figure that you needed, or let's call it parental figure. Let's not place it all on the mother. Parental figure that you needed, the more adult to kind of like walk alongside you at this time to help you along this journey, to get you from point A, which is today, right now, wishing, hoping, longing, wondering how long this journey is going to be, to finding the joy of taking each next step, to welcoming the curiosity and the magic through the hardships, because we know as adults that like, yeah, life can be fun and exciting, but also there is going to be duality there. When I make really hard decisions in my life, they're going to be hard, but they might be the right decisions. So how can I do this while being in this really grounded and loving space that is this Queen of Pentacles. I love that this rabbit is showing up because it is this like representation of like, there's new birth there. There's new birth there. When we can start to see ourselves as this like compassionate, loving adult, we can start nurturing that younger version, this sun version of ourselves, and going, yeah, like your dreams aren't real. Like they, or like I'm saying that in a weird way, but in a way that it's like we can do those. Like we can create that if we really want to. Do I want to though? As an adult, do I want to? Or am I going to let this dream go so that I can allow a new dream, a more formed dream to come into being? So that's what we can kind of expect. Again, this isn't going to be easy, like, but we can find the joy and stability in listening to our own voice and responding to its logical and emotional needs. So I'm moving on to the Light Seers Tarot now. And let's ask what's activating us. So immediately before I even ask the question, we have the Hermit coming out. So again, if you are extremely empathic or a hypersensitive person and you find it very hard to be around people's energy, it doesn't matter how much protection you do. You just really need to kind of create a bubble around yourself sometimes. Don't be afraid to hermit right now. Honor the cycle that you're in. It's okay if you need to rest while it seemingly appears that the rest of the world is like out there and like doing all the things and creating magic in your life, right? I said this in a personal reading the other day. Don't disrespect your glow up or your resting state because the people that you commune with are in a different stage than you. Again, come back to this like adult version of you that goes, wow, I'm really experiencing duality with this earth cycle or with my friend cycle at this time, but I'm going to trust this experience. Also, to me, now this is an adult, but whenever I see this card, I always see the little girl from the modern witch in the sun, kind of honoring both cycles of self, being in this place where it's like, I'm going to trust that when it's time to act, I'll act. And I'm going to trust that when it's time to rest, I'll rest. And you will know the difference. Trust me, you will know the difference. Rest, when you need a rest state, you're going to feel exhausted, like fatigued, very fatigued. When you are in a creating stage, you might still feel tired, right? But the tiredness is more of like a BS meter that's like, I'm sick of what's going on around me and I need to move that needle. I need to create something new. I need to step on to the Six of Swords pathway and move forward. Okay. So what can we look forward that's activating us at this time? Eight of Cups. Okay. So Spirit really wants us to know that like we 100% are on a journey and that this journey is emotional. We have this little fish kind of like popping out. Whoop. Here. Okay, what I love about this, before I get to the fish, see this little bowl here? It's like I started here. I started at this little bowl, this fire that started for me. And this is literally, I'm walking out and stepping into this. So this activation, be prepared for it to feel very towery, for you to like, it almost reminds me, okay, coming back to this, oh yeah, like even the sun, like in the horizon here, right? Like you're going to have to allow grief. And it doesn't mean that like you're going to experience grief during these 3 weeks, but it definitely might mean that like subconsciously you are revisiting a lot of old patterns. And it's kind of saying to yourself, like, okay, like I'm going to forgive. I'm going to forgive. Remember, forgiveness is for you so that you don't stay stuck in that past version. You don't get stuck in the muck of all these experiences that have made you you, but might have also lessened your curiosity and the magic that's available to you in life. So it's saying, I'm going to allow myself to grieve all these opportunities that I really wanted to happen, but didn't come into being. And as I do that, I'm going to weed through what I really, really want, letting go, continuing to let go so that I can go on this journey and find that sun, find that curiosity, that wonder again. Okay, what else is wow, that one flew right out. What else is activating us? Six of Cups. Nostalgia. Be prepared for that like spiritual visits, right? Oftentimes when working with clients who want to kind of develop more of their intuition or especially mediumshipness, I'm not a medium per se, but when I'm teaching people like how to read tarot or how to like tap into that intuitiveness that allows you to see spirit, I say to people like, don't discount a memory, because a memory is often showing you where you have been, kind of like spirit. It's like almost like your own residual haunting, if you want to say it like that, right? In order to help you move forward. You can look back on that memory and be in this place of like, ugh, cringe, like I can't believe I did that. Or you can be like, wow, look at how I used to react to those situations and how far I've come. I'm so proud of this younger version of me so that I could come into like loyalty of self, loyalty of my experience, and loyalty to my intuition that never steers me wrong. It will never steer you wrong. All these three cards at the bottom, the Hermit, the Eight of Cups, and the Six of Cups, all revolve around water. But it's interesting that we go again from this Eight of Cups into the Six of Cups. So we're kind of know that by like the 31st, you're going to have really like examined your timeline so much that by the 31st, like you'll have no choice but to be like, okay, I'm ready to move forward. Here's what I'm ready to do. Here's the first step in many steps of coming into trust and loyalty of self. So if you need to, just because there's a lot of like children showing up in this reading right now, if you need to be in this place where like you are just seeing yourself as a child, even as an adult, right? But like as a child who every day wakes up with wonder and excitement, I wonder what's going to happen for me today, not to me, for me today. Then you can take on this role of like child and parent in order to help you step forward through this Lionsgate portal and really, again, weed through your experiences to be like, hey, this is what I'm ready for. This like this idea of like, what does success mean to you? Not what success meant to you as a child, not what success meant to you through your parents' eyes or your grandparents' eyes or your friends' eyes. What does success mean to you? What does abundance mean to you? What does your, going miscongeniality? What's your perfect date? Right? Or what's your perfect day? What does that look like? Start to go through that and be like, how are you already doing that? If you're doing that in certain ways, then it literally is just seeing how amazing of an adult you are and how amazing of a manifester you are. And I would almost guarantee that every single person that watches this is longing for something that they're already doing, that they're already doing. They're just not seeing it because it's defined through someone else's eyes instead of your own eyes. Okay. So we have a lot of journey work here. So I'm going to do the Witch's Wisdom card and just what is here to support us along this journey? What or who is here to support us along this amazing journey over the next 3 weeks? We have rebirth. What or who is here to support us over the next 3 weeks? We have Great Mother. What or who is here to support us over the next 3 weeks? And we have initiation. Okay. I love when this happens. So you see that we have rebirth. She's like wearing a crow, or a crow is kind of like taking over her spirit. This crow also has wheat in its mouth. So it has abundance in its mouth. And again, to me, this rebirth. So in this deck, this main character, she is called the Pilgrim. So she's taking a pilgrimage in order to find herself. And this is part of the major arcana here. Okay. So this rebirth card is really, again, that like pivotal point in the major arcana where the fool is deciding like, am I going to continue on the path that my parents put out for me? Because that first half of the major arcana is very much family oriented. I need to go to school. I need to listen to my mother. I need to listen to my father. I need to travel and like gain experience, but I also need to find a lover and create harmony with them and move forward with them, right? So this rebirth, it's a place where it's like, what feels completely abundant for you? We then go to this great mother. So again, we have this like rebirth of like, step out into the world, step out into it. Like I said before, with curiosity and wonder, wake up every morning. Like, what is today going to bring me? Allow each day or any time you need a reset during the day. You could do this with quadrants, you can do this with hours, you could do this with minutes, right? Anytime life is kind of feeling like really heavy, saying like, okay, I wonder what 11 o'clock, the hour of 11 o'clock brings to me. Create rebirth in each and every day. Looking at this card a little bit more, she has sun and moon earrings. So again, to me, this is saying like honoring that light and dark within us, right? Acknowledging, okay, that happened. What do I want to do now? Where do I want to go from here? And then I'm going to jump Great Mother for a minute and go into the initiation. We now have this crow from being kind of like surrounding her and holding her like a parent, right? Kind of not hovering, but like being in this place is I'm going to kind of watch you so that if I need to interject, I can very easily, but I'm going to let you figure things out. I'm going to let you do a little bit of exploratory play so that you can learn how to trust your own instincts and learn where you're going to get hurt and where you're going to thrive and not, and I'm going to model that for you as well. So we have this crow now kind of like taking off from this person and also taking their hats off. So hats are very important in tarot because it's often a way that people, witches or spiritual people, regardless, even religious people, mask themselves, right? We might call it veiling. You can do it with a hat or you can do it with like different objects and stuff, but it's basically a form of protection so that other people can't like hear your divine thoughts and like kind of seep into you a little bit. So the hat, they're pulling the hat off and as if to say like you've done all the work. You've rebirthed, you've mothered yourself so well, or you've parented yourself so well. So it's time now to be in this place where it's like, where do you want to go? Thinking for yourself, basically, instead of just allowing the divine to speak through you, being in co-conspiracy with the divine. When I'm working with clients one-on-one with intuition, it's like, I'm looking for signs. I'm looking for signs. Okay, but have you made the decision yourself? Or are you looking for spirit to show you where you need to go? Or are you asking, I want to go here. Show me a sign that this is the place that I want to go. One, you're in control, and the other, you're looking for someone to control yourself. One, you are the more adult, right? This is where I want to go. Spirit, show me the way. Teach me, walk with me. The other is, I don't know where I'm going. I have no idea. Show me what I need. Neither one is good or bad, but oftentimes I find that like when we can sit in that driver's seat a little bit more, so that when the time comes to go, like, Jesus, take the wheel, I just need to surrender. I need to lay back. Then that can come more easily. We're not searching so much. We can flow a little bit more easier. But it takes us saying, hey, this is what I want. I want flow. Show me flow. I want surrender. Show me surrender. I want abundance. Show me abundance. Right? Or I'm ready. I'm ready for abundance. I'm ready for flow. I'm ready for thrival. So these people that are walking with us, it is spirit, like spirit 100%. I'm going to say ancestors is huge here through this portal. Really call on your ancestors. Ask for their help. I have been asking for my great grandmother, who I never met, Violet's help. Why? Because I just feel her presence around me so strongly. She is one of the ties to my red thread. And so I ask her, every morning, Violet, what would you have liked to do back in your day that I now have the freedom of a 23-year-old woman to be able to do? Guide me, allow and help me to take these leaps that I need to take. Again, we have this, it's a hare, but a rabbit showing up. We have the bear, and we have this beautiful owl. Notice in the background how these mountain ranges and hills almost look like a woman who is pregnant laying down with her knees up. So we go from this like rebirth into a physical birth, having protection, wisdom, speed, but also these beautiful poppies that are pouring out, right? We're fed, we're nourished. We can sit in these valleys and peaks and flows, just really being in this place of like surrender and joy, knowing that like on the other end of this initiation, we might not know what that is right now. We might not even know what that looks like right now, but we're not going to fear the opportunities that are coming to us. So, bear for me, it's a big spirit animal that has been walking with me since last October. Um, so call on your spirit animals, who it is that best represents what you are creating and tapping into at this time. And finally, let's see a plant ally that we can work with and help us create this ease and surrender. We have birch, and I'm going to look at that red thread coming through. I just mentioned the red thread and it's coming through. And if you don't know what the red thread is, basically with women who were born as women, right? You are connected to a red thread, your womb line. And this womb line follows your mother's line, so your maternal line. But because you also get aspects from your paternal line, you can tie in these great mothers, right? These great mothers from before who, although might have been the ones that were gaslighting us out of fear, we can step into this place of, I can understand why it might have scared you that I am so free and who I am who I am. I'm going to forgive not the actions they might have taken, but the circumstances which may have led them in order to take those actions, right? So I can free myself. So I can free my womb line, my red line, and shed, right? I love that birch is this, right? We have this beautiful full moon in between. So I can shed DNA, right? I can shed past triggers, past shadows to really step into and welcome and create a new line. So think about like the red thread, right? Even the fates of time. That's what's kind of like coming through. I always say that like time isn't real. It's not linear. It's like we get to quantum leap. We get to go where we need to. Again, going back to that memory. Memory is a strong intuition builder, right? I might have a memory that like isn't even mine. What I want to do with it, I can cut and paste that memory, change the outcome so that I change my future. I can change my fate. I can't really change my destiny. I just get to navigate differently through my destiny. So I love this like beautiful shedding. And so we are going to use the Dusk book from the Seed and Sickle deck. This is birch number 1. I love it. We have a lot of very fooly like energy here. The sun is here. We have this beautiful 6 of cups here. We have the pilgrim showing up in many different forms. Even this beautiful babe sitting here. We have a lot of fool like energy coming forward. So the fact that we have this birch card, right? Let's see what it says. So the birch tree is beloved by many for its pure but determined energy. Again, very much like that maiden that I was talking about earlier in this reading, right? Like that's a great way to put it. Like when we are in our maiden or our young adult era, We are very determined, but pure. It's a pure energy, and that's why I love it. It is one of the first trees to grow leaves in spring and the first to grow back when an area of woodland is cleared. This tenacity gives strength to anyone seeking to overcome difficulties. The birch is also featured in the Celtic Ogham tree calendar. The month it represents is seen as a time for regeneration and rebirth. This card is encouraging you to focus on all these things. A new chapter is beginning for you, potentially one that has arisen from a challenging situation. Do not let past difficulties make you jaded. Enter the new phase with certainty and confidence. If that wasn't like a beautiful recap of everything that this collective reading was holding, um, I don't know what is. Also, I just want to point out in the birch tree, we have all these different eyes watching us. So please call on your past loved ones constantly. Ask them for help, even if they weren't available to help when they were here and when you knew them. Ask them. They want to make things right. Remember that in spirit, there is no emotion. All that's there is love, and they want to help guide you, right? It doesn't matter what they said or did here in the present, in the ethers, in that like veil, in the other side. They want to connect with you. They want to work with you, and they want you to be in a place of thrival, not survival. So, in the comments below, let me know what resonated the most for you during this reading. And if you would like that 8-8 portal meditation to help you find this sun within yourself and take that next step forward, alignment awaits. You can find that down in the description box under meditations, or you can just send me an email and I'd be happy to send you any links you need. I love, love, love connecting with you. Follow me on Instagram, all those fun things. And again, if this video resonated with you, make sure to give it a like and feel free to share out with your friends. And please comment. I want to hear from you. I want to know what resonated and have a discussion with you. All right, lovelies, enjoy this magical 8-8 portal. Until next time, I'm that witch, Karina. Bye.